Now we're getting into the 60s now. We start getting into the gender bending. You remember the Rolling Stones on one of their albums later in the 60s when they were dressed up as women, they were dressed up in drag? Well, here's sort of a cursor of all this. The Barbarians coming in at number 55 the week of October 9th, 1965 on Billboard's Hot 100. We are talking some garage rock and roll. It's time to throw some in. The Barbarians. Are you a boy? Or are you a girl? Which is sort of a parody on the long hair that came with the British invasion. Oh my God, people just, oh my goodness, people just fussed about that long hair. They thought the Beatles looked like a bunch of girls, and some even thought, well, some people were a lot more critical, but I don't want to go into that. But boy, long hair was just not acceptable for men to wear back in the mid 60s, even into the early 70s here in Alabama. It was tough to wear your hair real long in some places. Some of the more redneck hamlets here in Alabama. I'm telling you, I remember those days very vividly. But anyway, this was a parody since their hair was quite long. The Barbarians formed in 1964 up near Cape Cod, Boston, Massachusetts. They were formed by a fellow named Victor Multi. Victor Moulton. And he assembled this band to play at the Rumpus Room, which was an ex-jazz club that was run by his cousin. Well, when they played their first show, the Barbarians played their first show at the Rumpus Room. It was sold out. They played to a pack house. They got some advice. Hey, come on back and play in our place, man. You're bringing in the money. You're bringing in the people. And the record company started to take notice, and they went down to New York City and they recorded several tracks. One of their first tracks that they recorded, and I wrote it down, and I'll be dang. Hey Little Bird. That's the first record, Hey Little Bird. Didn't do anything. Although they performed that show, you may remember the Tammy show back in the 60s. They performed that song on the show, the Barbarians did. This was a huge break for the Barbarians because they appeared on that show with the Rolling Stones, the Supremes, Chuck Berry, James Brown, Mr. James Brown. Got a lot of exposure with Little Bird. They came up with two or three songs after that off the Laurie record. One of them, Are You a Boy or Are You a Girl? And it jumped from number 67 to number 55 the week of October 9th, 1963, and it only peaked at number 55. They did come out with another record after that. It was called Multi. But it was just the lead singer. Well, actually, it's the drummer. I got a little trivia I want to share with you about the drummer in just a minute. It was Victor Moulton who sang on that record, but instead of having his band backing him up, he was backed up by session musicians on the Multi song, and including members of a group. The group was called Levon and the Hawks, which later evolved into the band, who backed up Moulton on the song Multi. You can find that song Multi by the Barbarians on Nuggets when the Nuggets compilation first came out in 1972. And, one other thing about Moulton. Victor Moulton. He lost his left hand. An explosion blew off his hand. He used a prosthetic left hand. His left hand was prosthetic, and it was modified so he could hold the drumstick. Barbarians. I love songs like this too, man. This is just cool. You just love these cool records. I mean, Dickie Lee's The Girl from Peyton Place. It's all right. Cookie Little Paradise by Joanne Campbell. Lori Strange Things Happen by Dickie Lee. That's all right, but you gotta have songs like this to put a little meat in the pie. Barbarians, Are You a Boy or Are You a Girl at number 55 on Billboard's Hot 100, October 9th, 1965.